Welcome back to WigginsTV. I'm your host, S.Wiggins, aka Worldwide Wiggins, aka Wiggins. And I'm starting a new series today called PTSD Hoods. What's that, you might say? When you think back on certain smaller hoods, no disrespect, that got their independence and started their own gang, most of them started from PTSD. P for party crews, player crews, or pimp crews. T for tagger crews. And S for the scene era, like prep gangs and all that. The ones that used to dress nice and preppy. You know, not my cup of tea. But hey. D, dance crews. That spells PTSD. And ain't nothing wrong with that, you know. Once upon a time in middle school, you know, we wasn't all, you know, who we are today. Most of the OGs was into that back in the day. So I don't think I'm downplaying it or anything. So, yeah, no disrespect. And another thing is, I'm not going to say exactly which letter of the PTSD that these specific gangs are when I do these episodes. I'm going to let the Wixes out there in the comments decide which one. Alright, so here we go. Today we going to discuss the ladies' first choice gangsta crib. People seem to forget that West LA is the very dangerous city and was dangerous back in the 80s and 90s. And keep in mind that just because West LA is only a Crip city, like a Crip only city, that don't mean that they all get along. You know, even though they 3 times. There have been a lot of friction between certain hoods over there. But I won't get into it today because I don't have a lot of time. But ladies' first choice began as a small clique at Hamilton High School. They began to enlarge in the early 90s and had some hard beef with their main enemies, which was called Fairfax Posse. They hood began to fall apart as most of their members began choosing to join other more reputable hoods in West LA, such as Playboy Gangs and Crips and groups like EWF. They hood also turned another clique called After Hours Players back in that era. But After Hours Players functioned with the ladies' first choice, and they shared a common ground with hatred for the Fairfax Posse. With all due respect, another thing is, even though they a Crip hood now, they did have a couple OGs from they set that used to be from blood gangs from Inglewood and even Paru gangs from different areas. I won't get into it exactly which ones. And ladies' first choice also had beef with Playboy gangsters and Marvin gangsters at one point. Not trying to start up no beef, just combing the history a little bit. But their establishment in that time was fading out, and things got worse for them when they lost a member. We gonna name him TS, who joined a different hood and lost his life to gun violence shortly thereafter. Even though he joined another gang, like BD Siegel say, real friends leave footprints on your heart. He was loved by his LFC homies, and his death caused a lot of sadness amongst the group. Now, there has been a lot of controversy about people saying that they lost him to, allegedly, Fairfax Posse, but I'm not finna get into all that, or who did it, and who really did what, or not. That's not my job. But another OG, one of the first generation members, we gonna call him TM, was able to keep them together. He was the big homie who you can thank for ladies' first choice being alive today. The original LFC hood was around 20th Street and Garth Avenue, stretching down to Sheraton in West LA. But as the years grew on, the original members left, and also because of turf wars, they are now residing on La Cienega in Venice, subsequently making this new ladies' first choice a brand new version of what it was. Today, their unofficial borders are from La Cienega to Fairfax, and from Sawyer to around the crossing of the Santa Monica Freeway, but they also stretch further, like south to like Comey Street. Some members changed the definition of ladies first choice, LFC, to mean living foul crip, while others stay true to their roots. Another topic of discussion about this hood is whether they trays or not. Seeing as how they have beef with almost all the other gangster crip sets in West LA, including Mansfield, Marvin, and Playboys. This is what I heard. Some may claim to differentiate themselves, maybe because of past differences, I would assume. Some of them will claim one time, aka Ace time. One last thing I wanted to say, and this is a question that anybody would experience from this area. I know there was a Fairfax gangster crip in the area that ended up turning Mansfield, if I'm not mistaken. Is the Fairfax Posse the same members as the Fairfax gangster crip? Like, did they turn Fairfax Posse, then Fairfax gangster crip, then Mansfield till today? Good question. I need to know that. I'm here to learn just as much as y'all is, man. So y'all tap in with me, man. Just a quick one for today. This is the first episode of PTSD Hoods, or Hoods PTSD. I'm your host, S.Wiggins. I'm signing out. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Donate if you can, man. Send me a band, man. I'm out of here. Wiggins.